Everyone knows the mantra, assign the right offer to the right customer through the right channel. Oh, and at the right time too. But what is the right time? I'm convinced that we typically give lip service to that last part, at the right time. It's unlikely that we share common definitions of what the right time is, much less how to optimize for it. Corios has been focused for the last decade on defining and solving this problem by combining the disciplines of predictive and time series modeling and creating brand new techniques for transaction analytics, and the results are impressive. We've helped a national digital retailer achieve 25% increase in sales revenues by applying transaction analytics to optimize their customer contact policies. We've helped a national bank to improve the predictive accuracy of a home mortgage pre-qualification model by 70% in the top decile and by 311% in the top percentile. We've helped a national credit issuer to improve the correct identification of the top decile of at-risk cardholders by 113% through our blend of transactional analytics. And we've helped a global payments processor earn a 7-to-1 return on investment in merchant sales stimulation campaigns. Those results aren't just significant, they're game-changing. Corios has dubbed this solution Veloce, which in musical conventions means rapid. At Corios, we tell the story numbers can't. Telling the story of the consumers using their transactions as the ink on the page meant developing an entirely new way of analyzing data, and it stems from looking at consumer behavior differently than the traditional conventions of applied mathematics and big data. The first fundamental basis for this approach is based on our observation that objects in nature don't move in straight lines. Scientists think some organisms, like trees, grow following fractal patterns. Water moves in waves. Crystals follow geometric yet imperfect lines. And wind travels in arcs. Similarly, people don't move in straight lines. An organism capable of goal-seeking intelligence who wants to travel in a straight line is influenced or constrained by other forces, such as light, temperature, wind, air pressure, nutrients, other creatures, natural barriers, and even microscopic forces like photosynthesis and strong nuclear interactions. When you zoom out or zoom way in, you'll agree that there are forces that compel us to move in curves rather than straight lines. Not only that, we anticipate and adapt to curves in order to pursue a desirable outcome. How are people influenced by these forces? For starters, artists, engineers, and architects all emulate nature's tendency to follow curved paths. The most remarkable buildings around the world were heavily influenced by curves and natural movement. Adam Savage of Mythbusters fame made an interesting observation that one reason we make so many physical objects using straight lines and planar surfaces is that our tools are built that way. By extension, I'd reason that if we had tools that made it easy to form, carve, and join physical objects following curved lines and manifold surfaces, perhaps we'd do that more often. The next way people are influenced by the tendency of nature to follow curved lines is that we anticipate and adapt to curves. Athletes provide some rich examples of anticipating and adapting to curves. Baseball pitchers have developed more than a dozen ways to grip and throw a baseball, and in doing so, trick the batter into swinging the bat where the ball won't be. Advanced golfers not only adapt to the curved flight of a ball, they use it to their advantage to avoid obstacles and better position themselves. This isn't limited to golf played with a ball. Disc golfers adapt to the tendency of the disc to fade as its rotational motion overcomes the force imparted by the golfer's throw towards the target. As ball golfers have adapted their swings and clubs, disc golfers have also adapted their throws and especially their discs to varying play conditions. What's even more fundamentally important about the lesson of athletic adaptation is the lesson that athletes and consumers have mastered the human condition of planning and decision making. We make premeditated decisions in order to pursue desirable outcomes. This insight is at the heart of what makes the Corios Veloce approach unique and more effective in predicting consumer behavior. We've tuned analytics to focus on consumers as active decision makers on a journey towards desirable outcomes. How is this different than traditional behavioral analytics, which predict the onset of a future customer event? Well, most contemporary analytics rely on looking backwards and counting instances of events or taking snapshots of consumer states at prior points in time. Traditional models rely on who we were and how many times we did something at historical points in time. But this isn't how most people think about their lives. Consumers tend to look forward rather than backwards, and they think about life as events rather than counts or averages, and they plan to make premeditated decisions. We've adapted Veloce to predict consumer behavior by building a set of tools that work with granular observations to characterize behavior over time, over horizons as short as a few minutes or as long as a few weeks. In short, we're converting transactional and event data into everyday explanations of human behavior. Now, this is harder than it sounds, because as you fine-tune the focus, the conventional ways of handling this volume of data and converting the data into a clear signal simply don't work. That's why we've created brand new techniques that are motivated by storytelling and predicting the customer journey. When a consumer premeditates their decisions and sets out on a journey, they actively pursue new information, they try to reduce uncertainty, they make course adjustments, and they adapt to changing conditions and external influences in order to pursue the desirable outcome. With the right kind of analytics, we can think like the consumer thinks, we can tell their story, monitor their events, and we can project the path they're on, and most importantly, we can forecast when they're going to get there. This is what allows us to improve when we choose to interact with a consumer and proactively intercept their journey with a treatment that helps them in the pursuit of that desirable outcome. That's what finally helps you answer the question, what is the right time to interact with your customer? If you're like our other clients, you're actively trying to improve the performance of your customer interactions in order to mitigate risk, reduce costs, and enhance margins. This could mean reducing attrition, improving customer spend, tuning your contact strategy, presenting the right offer at the right time, and preventing poor service experiences. We've been developing Corios Veloce for over a decade, and we're confident we can help you achieve improvement on your objectives by picking the right time to interact with your customers. We'd like to hear your story and be part of your journey toward improving your company's customer strategy and financial performance. Email me, Robin Way, at president@coriosgroup.com or call me at 503-295-1685 to learn about Corios Veloce and start tackling these challenges today. We look forward to the conversation.